This is part 3 in our sustainable Christmas series from Good Tea, and this time we are going to be talking about waste. Now, we know this is probably the biggest time of year for the bins. They love it because they are well fed around Christmas time. But we can look at how we can reduce our waste at Christmas quite easily. Firstly, let's talk about your tree. Now, I don't know whether you prefer an artificial tree or a real tree in your lounge, but there are sustainable approaches to both of these. Now, if you are going for a real tree, that's what we've done this year. We love the smell. It's just a beautiful thing to have in your lounge. You can look for the FSC certification on the label of the tree, and this will just ensure that the tree has been grown in a sustainable way and is looking after the planet. So rather than getting a cheap real tree, you can actually just look out for that, and that just ensures that the planet is being cared for. A second thing with real trees is that you can work with your local council to dispose of them well after you've finished with them. So after the tree's done, it's January, you're like, we need to get rid of this, rather than just dumping it anywhere. The local council do offer pickup areas where you can have your tree recycled, and actually it is looked after even when you're done with it at the end of the season. Now, artificial trees, they use a lot more resources and a lot of plastics. Well, they basically are plastics to make. So they're not a brilliant option. It takes a lot of energy to make them as well in the manufacturing process. But if you already have an artificial tree, one of the ways that you can be more sustainable with your artificial tree is to make sure you care for it well each year. Because if you've already got one, you want to make the most of it, right? You want it to last as long as possible, so those plastics aren't being disposed of before they need to be. So why not care for it when you finish at the end of the season? Make sure you box it well, put it away carefully and safely, so that it can last you again and again and again. So care for those artificial trees, make the most of them. We want to make them last as long as you possibly can. Secondly, let's talk about food and our food waste. Now, obviously we like to eat a lot at Christmas time, love that. We want to make sure that people feel well fed and full up, but we do chuck a lot of food in the bins each year. So one of the ways that we can reduce the amount of food waste is just a little bit of planning. So just putting the time in to work out how much do you actually need to buy for the people that are coming round. Now, one of the great ways to do this is chatting to the people that have done it a million times. You know those people, right, that are absolutely brilliant at nailing when people come round for dinner, just getting it absolutely spot on. So everyone's well fed, they've had a great time, but there's not actually loads of leftovers. These people are great to chat to, get ideas from them. How do they plan? How do they know how much to buy, what to buy? Get info from them, and just put in the time to do a little bit of planning before you have people over and you have maybe even Christmas Day, just that you know what you need. I'm not saying skimp out on Christmas Day, no way, just go for it. But we want to be just watching what we're putting in the bins each year at the end of the season. So that's one idea for you, is food waste. Another thing with food is just having a go at a few vegan swaps. Now, this might fill you with dread. Surely not. Surely Christmas is the time to eat as much meat as you possibly can. But going for plant-based options is a really, really brilliant way to care for our planet. And you don't have to go the full hog. Maybe just try a few swaps. Just try a few things that you've not done before. Just see whether you like it. Have a go. And if you don't like it, fair enough. But just give it a little try. You might be able to just swap one thing on your plate this year for a plant-based option. Again, there's more stuff out there than ever. More plant-based options than ever in our supermarkets. So have a little go with those. And finally, on food, eating fresh food actually reduces the amount of plastics because there's less packaging. So rather than going for all out, let's just go processed junk food for Christmas, why not have a go at introducing as much fresh food as you can? And in that way, you'll find that there's a lot less wrapping, a lot less plastics you're needing to put in the bin. And finally, let's talk about wrapping presents. Obviously, after all the presents are opened, we're just left with this bunch of wrapping paper that needs to go in the bin. So what can we do to reduce waste here? Now, traditional wrapping papers are full of plastics, so they can't actually be recycled. So one easy swap to make is replacing traditional wrapping paper with brown paper. Now, it doesn't sound that exciting, but this can be done really well. If you wrap it with string, maybe put a sprig of tree in there, you can make it look really beautiful, especially if all of your presents are wrapped in the same way. It looks great under the tree. Now, here's one to show you. Here we go. Lovely brown paper, string, all biodegradable. There's no plastics here at all. I haven't even used sellotape on this. It's just a clean wrap with no tape, just wrapped well with the string so that it's not going to come undone. So there we go. Just another idea for you of how we can reduce our plastic waste this year. So those are just a few ideas of how we can put less rubbish in the bins around Christmas time. And that's the end of our Christmas sustainability series from Good Teal, our little mini series. We hope it's been enjoyable for you, and we would love to see, particularly if you've got any photos of the way that you've wrapped presents and creative ideas to do that in a way that is more sustainable. We'd love to see pictures of that, or any ideas you have that you can share. So if you put in the comments below or ping them over to us, we'd love to share your thoughts on how to have a more sustainable Christmas. We hope it's enjoyable. If you've enjoyed it, let us know, because we might do more of these. So have a great Christmas. We hope you have a brilliant season, and thank you for watching.